Which is better, when you finally get to that position that you've dreamed about your whole life, to make everyone do what you want, or to let everyone have their say? You must have heard of the monkey ladder experiment. Researchers put 5 monkeys into a room with a ladder and bananas on top. Each time one of the monkeys would climb to get the bananas, the researchers would activate a cold shower to douse them, so none of the monkeys were having any fun. Well, at some point, the monkeys started beating up the one that would try to reach for the bananas to discourage it. Okay, next the researchers would change out one monkey at a time and bring in a new one that didn't know what was happening, didn't understand the work culture, you could say. So it would climb up, and without even activating the cold shower, it would just get the beating from the other monkeys. Alright, at some point, all the original monkeys were substituted, so these were new monkeys coming into the room, and they didn't even know about the cold shower. It's just that they had a tradition. Anytime one climbs up, they've seen it, so they reenact it of beating it up. And it just goes to show you how society can sometimes degenerate. Whatever was the negative conditioning at some point could be removed, but the people that were putting challenges in each other's way would continue. What does the monkey ladder experiment look like in real life? I happened to see as a bystander this example playing out before me. There was a higher functionary looking for an assistant. Yet this other person was told the conditions would be no pay for a while. It was like a free internship. The workload would be very high, as before, but carried on into the future. And they'd have to suffer the continued attitude of their superior, which the superior demonstrated by holding up their chin like this, leaning back, kind of little put-downs here or there. And everybody knew that this potential assistant was a high-quality candidate. They didn't deserve this, but the functionary said, I had to go through the same thing for many years myself. Now it's my turn to get something out of it. And sure enough, that same functionary could be seen regularly in a way, I hate to use the word, but scampering after their senior colleagues. And what is more interesting, nobody put a stop to this. Nobody said, hey, that's enough, we're all on the same level here, even though maybe they were in their 60s and this other person was in their 50s. And you might even excuse it. Who would give up pampering when it's so readily given? I just wonder, until when? So what we see here is what I would call the cycle of repression. To get to a certain position, people have to suffer all these unnecessary challenges and obstacles. Once they get there, then they put them down for other people. And I think, as I said, nobody will put a stop to this themselves, but I think it's up to the individual to realize there are no rules, there are no laws that require ingratiation, and how much favor really comes from it? Hardly anything. You're just perpetuating the hardship. So, I think the individual has to carry themselves with dignity, and who could argue with that? You have to do your own best work to prove yourself. It's only natural. Sometimes there will be people who have come up before us, get to a certain position, and are happy just coasting. And when a newcomer starts approaching, they kick them back down again. Well, my rebuttal to that kind of a mindset would be, while you're keeping others down, you are keeping yourself in the muck too. But to the other person suffering unnecessary challenges at work, I would say walk away at that point. Start your own projects, at which you might even be able to go further. But when you get to that position, not to do the same thing to others. What is the relationship between self and others? Speaking on the topic of work, as you do a good job, eventually you will get to your desired position. And it's good, in a way, to become an authority within your own field for personal satisfaction. But never to forget that wisdom that nobody knows everything. Everyone we meet knows something we don't. So always to keep an open mind towards others, collaboration, and friendship. And this becomes increasingly important with time and age. We've all seen people in retirement continuing to enjoy respect from their community. People might still call them by their old titles fondly, because they have a career behind them of having taken care of others, now others are taking care of them. And that's the goal. That even, I think, cynics would be hard-pressed to find fault in that. That's the inspiration, friendship, what life in community should be like, that will inspire everybody to participate toward progress. And that's how we break the cycle of repression and get everybody healing. Hey, my name is Ivan Grozdanovsky. I make the poetry and philosophy videos on the channel Poetry and Play. If this video has helped you think of interesting ways of doing your best work and relating well with others, then consider liking and subscribing and commenting so we can keep the conversation going.